And we're live. Hello, everyone. Happy Friday Eve for most. I am Sybil Wilkes, and welcome to What You Need to Know. It is Thursday, and it is time for George Wallace Thursday. George Wallace Thursdays here on What You Need to Know headlines. And so, George, it seems like I just left you. For those of you who don't know, George Wallace was a guest on our podcast yesterday, the podcast from Ha-Has to Ahas with Sybil Wilkes and Stephen Hill. And we had an illuminating conversation. And so, welcome back today, George.
Thank you so much. I enjoyed it. Do you hear me okay? Is my voice okay today?
Your voice sounds fabulous, and you look very intelligent.
I have different glasses now. I can't put on my reader's glasses to make me really, really look smart.
Okay.
Now, if we get into something, we start talking about something that's getting really heavy, and I don't know much about, I'll slip these on. I don't know nothing. I don't know nothing, okay? But you know me, as we always start our show, today's program is brought to you by
Yes.
XLX. Today's something is wrong. I am not going to the bathroom as often as I should. Is anybody else going
Really?
No.
What are you eating well?
I'm eating. No.
Are you drinking enough water? That's what I get all the time.
Is that what I'm drinking? The problem is, I should not have done that. I said that because never ever tell friends you're having some kind of medical issue. Have you noticed everybody's a doctor? Now here's what you need to do. Are you drinking enough water? Get yourself some tea. When you wake up in the morning, get some lemon water. Everybody knows the remedy to everything.
Everybody's
just told me drink the water. Well, can I double up on these?
No, please no. Well, you know what, George? You live alone, so maybe that's not a problem.
This is true too. When you live alone, you just take things. You're looking for something to do. You're cooking and the dog is hungry. But today is a good day. It's a nice day. I'm looking forward to you. You are my therapy. You're my medicine. Let's do it. There's so much to talk about today.
George, can I just tell you, you are one of the most prolific tweeters. And we don't talk about that on the show, but my God, you have some funny stuff.
Well, thank you so much.
It's beautiful. I mean, some of it is poetry and other stuff is just like, what? But it's great stuff.
Well, when you get to that, some of that stuff is because I have a system that you have to be with me for a year to understand, like to hell with Baskin. Robbins know what he did. Little things like that, So you have to be in the club and have been around for a while and just having fun with it. And there's so much is happening in the world today. And I have to, because my jokes are delivered differently. I have to go through my office and make sure they're written within the 140 characters in a different way. And then we shape it up. And some of my jokes are like a week old before I get them out.
But most are very timely, George. I got to tell you.
Well,
there's one you had the other day said, "I am removing myself from the short list for vice president."
For vice president, yeah.
I would very much like to remain on the long list. However, thank you for your time and whatnot.
Those are not good. What are good are the replies. Because somebody said, and you can do that with a sex change too, because I got to be, it's got to be a lady. So it's amazing what the replies are. And
That's
sometimes
true.
I do things like the top 5 pans in the world, PAN. I got Pan Am Airline. I had pandemic. I had flash in the pan, and another pan I do because I have to research these things. And somebody hit me back with a reply. How about Mugu Guy? I don't know whether some of our listeners like those kind of jokes, but I love them.
I love them. I was thinking something mundane like Peter, but Mugu Guy.
Peter Pan. Oh yeah, Peter Pan was there. Peter Pan was there. Yeah, Peter Pan was there. Isn't that nice when you get that?
I'm done. I'm done.
It's a lot of fun. I'm looking at them right now, and some I don't know what I'm doing, and sometimes I just have to retweet. I had to retweet. Well, I got a joke right here that somebody retweeted to me in New York City, and I was asking the audience, does anybody here work at Home Depot? Does anybody here work at Home Depot? does anybody here work at Home Depot? Then I said, I feel like I'm actually in the store. So every now and then I like to throw a little joke in there too, but it's a lot of fun tweeting and having fun.
And George, you were named one of the top 25 tweeters of the world?
Of the world by Rolling Stone magazine.
Nice.
I was
nice.
funny. I was voted the #1 funniest tweeter by Playboy magazine. And I didn't even know they were still in business.
I know, right?
But it's a lot of fun. And today, of course, I do Us Today tonight with Sybil. I got us on there. And
yeah, you called me a badass. I was like, oh, George, thank you.
Sybil, yeah. And things like, I was so poor when I grew up and things like that. We have a lot of fun. I was so poor when I grew up. We never knew that. I knew Gladys, but we didn't, on television, we were so poor. We had a television station. I knew Gladys, but we didn't know about the Pips. We didn't. That's how poor we were. Little things like that. And I have little quips like the drifters need to make up their mind. Either they want to be up on the roof or under the boardwalk. You got
Which is it?
What? Make up your mind. Little things like that. And Applebee's got to make up their mind when the shit goes down between the apple and the bees. Somebody got to pick a side. Apple got to pick up sides.
I'm just saying.
These are silly.
So George, let me ask you, because I love the levity that you bring to your tweeting every day. And in the light of all of the very heavy subjects that we cover on the What You Need to Know newsletter, like today, I don't know if you remember where you were 55 years ago today, when Lyndon Johnson passed or signed the Voting Rights Act.
I do know where it was.
55.
I was at A. Ruby's house.
A. Ruby.
I was at A. Ruby's house, and because this was a major black and white television, of course. And when they had it, today I'm going to sign the Civil Rights Bill. And we thought that was the greatest thing in the world to have President Johnson do that. Because, of course, we had just lost, that was a bad year. We had lost Kennedy, the two brothers. And was it the same year?
No.
Dr.
John Kennedy was in
63.
And 68 was Dr. King and Robert.
Yeah. I know where I was in 63. Yeah. I knew where I was in 63 too when Kennedy was killed.
Really?
Yeah, we were in a school. They closed the school, by the way.
Oh yeah, I've heard that.
They closed the schools, but 68 was a bad year. And when Johnson signed that, I said, he's really, really a good man. But you know what? He was not necessarily a good person. He was just under pressure to make this happen, but he did know the right thing to do.
He did the right thing. In
68, there was so much going on, and you may not be old enough to remember. We had the Vietnam War. We had a little thing on black campuses called BUS, Black United Students. We had SNCC, and I think John Lewis was involved in SNCC. There's so much going on back in the day that, but the Voters' Right Bill in 1965, some hell was raised 2 years before that in 1963 with the Supreme Court allowing Southern states to redistrict themselves. Enhance more white congressmen. So, but the 65 rights, I don't understand this, and I have said it many a time, the Civil Rights Bill. Why do we have one? Why do we need one? If you're born in America, you got a Social Security number, over, flat out. It shouldn't be you have to qualify. Nobody have to qualify for anything. Am I saying it wrong? Why are we gonna rehash it and gotta vote for it again? Never vote for it again.
Well, you know what? But here's the problem, because in 55, when Johnson signed this into existence, the Voting Rights Bill of 1965, it was 5 months after Bloody Sunday, right? So this is what happened on the Edmund Pettus Bridge, which John Lewis and others were beaten and pushed back by the law. And their intention, obviously, is to break down the local barriers that prevented Black citizens from exercising their rights to vote, like the poll tax, voter ID, things like that. And so you would think that everything would be good, but those southern states especially are tricky. And so over the years, what they tried to do was diminish the voting rights. And they were taken to court, and the Supreme Court ruled against Black folks in this Voting Rights Act. And they were able to redistrict, they were able to close voting places, and they had
2,000 places they closed, 2,000 voting places they closed.
The
Supreme Court
The Supreme Court in
So
2013.
so that's just 2 years ago, remember?
Yeah, 7. Yeah.
7 years ago. I'm a little
Yeah.
slow, but listen to me. That's why the voting is so important, and
Right.
also the census. All of these things are very important that we have to address. But getting voting and getting us in office in Congress, we can make a big difference. A big difference. Supreme Court is going to be major for me.
Yeah.
Major for me.
And Joe Biden says that he is going to appoint a Black woman to the United States Supreme Court. Hopefully, he'll get a Black woman in the in the
VP.
as well as the Supreme Court. But that's going to be really big. And God bless Ruth Bader Ginsburg. Please hang on.
You know what? I thought she should have to hang on until November 4th, but somebody told me no, she got to hang on until January 20.
Yeah.
So, but
because those Republicans are so sneaky, and you know how they didn't even allow Barack Obama to make his nomination after Scalia died.
Exactly.
Remember, and that's how they waited for Donald Trump, and he was able to have not just one nomination but two.
And we're going to do the same thing for them because we know at least we own the House right now.
Right.
So, but who would you like to see as a Black lady on the Supreme Court?
Cheryl and Eiffel is one.
Okay.
She is the cousin of Gwen Eiffel, who is one of my great heroes and heroines. But she is also the president of the NAACP Legal Defense Fund. And so she is an incredible woman of justice and the law. And I think she would just be awesome. I think she would just be so awesome. How about
I would love Loretta.
Oh yeah, Loretta Lynch. Yeah, the Attorney General.
And can Eric Holder go back and become a judge also?
Oh, I don't see why not.
That would be cool because so far we haven't had a Black judge on the Supreme Court since
since Thurgood Marshall.
Since Thurgood Marshall, right? Yeah. Because I can't believe you. Listen to me. I can't believe you get a Black guy from Georgia has seen the white color and gone through everything, and he says nothing and he does nothing. He spoke last week and people went, "What the hell?"
I know. I was like, "What?"
The judge went, "Did he say something?" Ooh, darling. What's that man saying? The color of a finally the dead are come alive. What was his name? Adolf something?
Adolf Caesar.
Yeah, finally the dead has come alive. But Clarence Thomas, I'm so disappointed in you because you don't represent me well, and it's just not good for me.
No, it has not been a good representation. And is he the oldest, longest serving justice on the court now?
I think
Can you believe it's been that long?
It's been that long and hasn't done a thing. Just sit there and just do whatever. You know what it is? It's whatever the white man says. Yes, sir.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, and that was especially true when Scalia was his boy, and whatever Scalia said, whatever Scalia voted
his boss, not his boy, his boss.
Yeah, you're right. You're right.
Yeah. It's a slave owner.
Yeah,
so.
yeah.
But I mean, I hope we can do something with this, with the Supreme Court. Oh my God, I'm sure there's some other qualified people out there to be honest.
Oh my gosh, yeah, and I'm hoping people will will send in suggestions of who they'd like to see. But I think those two just are so powerful.
Stacey Abrams would be good. She's very smart.
Now I'm wondering what role she will play in this administration. I haven't heard her name mentioned in quite a while in terms of the VP. I have not heard her name mentioned as a member of, as a nominee for the United States Supreme Court. But I could see her doing, I would see her as the Attorney General.
Oh my God, you're hitting some great spots right now. She would be, when she speaks, you can't say anything.
Yeah.
You may not even know what she's talking about because she's so prolific, and when she speaks, it's like Stacey Abrams knows her stuff, really does.
Oh, absolutely.
And so we're going to find a place for her somewhere in the national.
She's going to be very prominent, I believe, in this administration, and which will put her in a great position to go. And I still want her to be the governor of Georgia. I think, if not her, then Mayor Keisha Lance Bottoms. I would love to see as the
because
mayor.
she won already because of the guy Governor Kemp was in charge of the voting rights. Even if I had been in charge, even had I been in charge of the voting in Georgia, Secretary of State, I would have beat Stacey Abrams. I would have won. I would have made it. She can't beat me and I'm running the program. Cut those votes off right now. I know what I need. Yeah, but he did. He's such a bad guy. Once again, I want to write a book called "There's Something Wrong with the People in the South." It's not everybody. It's not everybody. But if you look around and you're like, what's going on with the governor of Texas? What's going on with the governor of Missouri? What's going on with the governor of Georgia? What's going on with the governor of Florida? These people are a little off.
And if you look at their political stature, then you know what's going on. And they are trying to be the men and women that Donald Trump wants and needs, and it is leading to the destruction of our country.
I've said it before, and I'll tell you again what it is. And I can't get in trouble for saying this, but it's old rich white men. All of them are old rich white men, not even wanting to submit to vote on the. Did they come through with the $600 yet?
No, they have not. They're still haggling over this. And Nancy Pelosi, God bless her, says she's sticking to that $600. They're sticking with that extra $600 a week.
We don't need $200. We need $600.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, absolutely.
And some people still haven't gotten their first check. Some people still haven't gotten it.
Right. Yeah.
There was on the news tonight. There's a lady in Atlanta. And I'm trying to find out who she is because I know the news director at CBS in Atlanta. She hasn't received anything in 10 weeks, nothing. So she has 2 kids, and it's getting pretty bad for her. And I said, sometimes you want to help people.
Yeah, and you know what? That is the beauty of guys like you and Tyler Perry and others who see these stories and can actually go and help people. And we salute people who are in a position to do that in whatever way we can. If it means taking this woman some food, and helping her kids because it's coming up time to go to school. They're going to need supplies, even if they're in their home.
Okay, I'll buy some supplies at home, but I'm not going to pay no gas money for them to go to school. I don't want them to go to school. I don't want to go to school. But listen to me. This lady cannot go hungry on my ticket right now. And she's here in Atlanta. I got to find out who she is, and I got to at least make their week or month or rent or something. I got to do something. And I think we all can help in certain ways, little ways.
And in all of our backyards, in all of our communities, there are people right now who need our help, and in whatever way we can, in whatever way we can afford to do this. I think we should absolutely.
Well, sometimes we don't realize that somebody right around the corner needs help. And when I saw the line in Los Angeles, 7-hour wait, people needed food. That hurt me so badly. So it is, here I am ordering something from Louisiana bistro, and these people have nothing to eat. I would love to just sit down and watch them eat my food. I love to get back.
Yeah, that we can help, and be our brothers and sisters keepers, and really help them in the way that God intended for us to do.
Is that because I've gotten older? I realize I understand more also about helping people, about the Voting Rights Act. Also, I've always liked to give.
You've always been
always
one of
like
those
to give.
people.
All my life. You know why I like to give? Simple. You don't understand what has happened to me. My mom died at 16. Okay, my dad died at 18. Last words my mom said to me, she was leaving the house. She says, "Baby, I'm going to the hospital, but I won't be back. But don't you worry about a thing. Your life has been taken care of." I did not know what that meant at the time. But how could a person like me go to the University of Akron and get a degree in transportation, marketing, and advertising, and after 1 quarter become a resident advisor? You got to be a resident advisor 3 years.
Yeah.
You know what it means to become blessed, to become a resident advisor? That's your housing and boarding and food and everything.
Yes, taken care of. Yeah.
Super blessing. And I got another mom when I got to Ohio, and life has been so good. Going to New York, I left college and sold rags. You ever heard the so-called rags to riches? I actually sold real.
That was you. Is that your life story, George?
I sold real rags. I don't realize how blessed I am sometimes. You mentioned the other day about traveling, just like going to Africa and going into the cell Nelson Mandela. He was incarcerated for 27 years. I got to write all these things down, all of these great things that have happened to me, you know? So what a blessing it is. Our purpose on earth is to give back. I could just go on and on talking about all of the great things that I've been, you know, meeting Muhammad Ali, on film with President Barack Obama hugging me in Las Vegas and singing, and he hugged me a little too long, and then he started singing. Listen, you know, I edited the tape. He was hugging me, and he was just put it on still, and he started singing, "I'm so in love." Hey, but isn't it wonderful to be blessed and to be able to give back? And it's just so wonderful.
Absolutely. And, to be of service to others, I just wholeheartedly believe in that.
Akron, Ohio. Let me finish it. And I told you guys many years ago, I guess about 10 years ago, that there's another kid out of Akron, Ohio, and they didn't know who his daddy was, but I'm his daddy. That's LeBron James, okay? What? LeBron James, I'm his daddy. I'm his daddy. Listen, what a great, now talking about giving back. What a great man this is. For real. I mean, built the entire school. Sybil, you just see the school in Akron. It's called Hope or something like that. But he's giving back to the community.
Promise.
Promise. Yeah, it is so good. And last night, Trump said that he's going to stop watching the NBA. He's through with it because of the. And so LeBron said, "What do I care?" So we lost one viewer. What do I care? There's one thing more we need to worry about. And then he came up with something, Sybil, that's bugging me. I cried again today. I'm sick and tired of it. Maybe I shouldn't talk about this right now. But Aurora, Colorado.
Yeah. We talked about that. Was in the news in the What You Need to Know newsletter a couple of days ago.
Days ago. That hurt. I hadn't seen that, Sybil. But how do you put a kid?
Let me just give this a little bit of background. Aurora, Colorado is right outside of Denver. This is the same city, George, in which Elijah McClain, a young Black man, was walking home last August.
Exactly.
Neighbors called, said he looked a little sketchy. He is a kid who is on the autistic spectrum.
Yes.
So, as I understood it. And so he was wearing like a ski mask, and they thought that he looked a little sketchy. They didn't think he had a gun. 3 Aurora police officers stopped him, held him down, put him in a chokehold. He was trying to make them understand that he has special needs and how he needed to be treated and addressed, and the spacing and all of that. They weren't having it. They put him down on the ground, face down, and he resisted. They called the emergency personnel. The emergency personnel gave him a shot of ketamine. Yeah, they injected him.
And the boy died.
He went into cardiac arrest, and he subsequently died. He was on life support for several days, and then he died. So let's fast forward to a year later. This past weekend, 4 little Black girls being taken to a day of spa treatments. They were going to get mani-pedis, right? And their car was pulled over by Aurora police officers, guns drawn as they approached this car of little girls. They pulled the little girls out of the car. 2 were face down and handcuffed. The other 2 were face down on the ground, on the
hot concrete
of the parking lot. Right. And
the youngest girl was 6 years old, right?
6.
That's not a young girl. That's a baby.
That's a baby.
How could you do that to a baby? And they want to know what they don't understand us and police brutality.
No.
And it's systemic racism. There's no way in hell I'd make an old white lady. You would never see white kids on the ground like that.
No, you don't.
That was so awesome. No. I cried. I just said, I wish I could fire everybody over there.
Well, they have a new chief of police, and she said she has apologized to the family, said the city is going to take care of whatever treatment these girls need.
Apologies don't mean nothing. They'll be the rest of their lives. They'll never forget being taken out of there. Only thing you can apologize, put them through college. $1 million each ain't enough.
Right. And put them in the schools of their choices. Let them go forth and with the city's money.
We should follow up on that, because I bet it doesn't happen. I bet they just want to apologize and that's it.
Well, this is because the whole Elijah McClain thing really lay dormant for the better part of the year. Not until after George Floyd happened did his family finally get some attention to their case.
And we still have no judgment on Breonna, do we?
No, No, and that's something else Stephen Hill and I talked about last week in our podcast, from ha-has to ahas, and talking about how there's probably going to be no criminal trial, no arrest of these men, because they don't think that they can win this case, and the case will be won in civil court, unfortunately.
Unfortunately.
But hopefully, Breonna's family will get
And
something.
dumbass Governor Kemp passed another law today protecting the police officers.
Yeah, yeah.
This
Every
thing,
day you're going to find, in light of Rayshard Brooks, in light of Breonna, in light of Ahmaud and George Floyd and Elijah McClain, and on and on and on. We can keep naming these names, but the governors are going to protect, these Republican governors are going to protect their police officers.
Hey, I appreciate the police officers. Let's make that perfectly clear. I appreciate we need them, but we don't need the bad cops, which we don't know. I don't know the difference, but they have got to, I don't know if it's training. Is it training, or they just got to change their ways?
Well, it is. It's both. I mean, because there needs to be some sort of psychological testing done of these men and women.
You mean like common sense?
Well, psychological in terms of the way that they think and how they treat people. Just
what
like
do you need to? Let me ask you a personal question. What do you need to know to not put a 6-year-old girl on the ground?
Apparently, George, they need something, because they cannot possibly be thinking right when they are doing this. Something has to be amiss with these people.
It happened in Florida. A black police officer took a little girl out of school. I think she was in the second grade.
Yeah.
He handcuffed her in front of everybody, and that's
the school called the police.
What if I were the police officer? You know what I would have done? Called the little girl grandmama. The grandmama would have come down there for the little girl ass, the teacher ass, and my ass. Like Bernie Mac says. Like Bernie Mac says, there's no big mamas anymore.
That's right.
But the police officer should have common sense to treat you to others as you have them do unto you. Just that simple. That's why maybe I should run for a candidate somewhere, because I can it's just basically being a public servant, as Ross West said. Just do what's right and do what's wrong, and you can't go bad.
George, why don't you run for governor? I mean, the state of Minnesota, they had the wrestler. Who was the wrestler that was the governor of Minnesota?
Yeah, brother. Yeah,
Jesse.
Yeah.
I can't remember his last name.
Jesse was over the K. Jesse.
But George, run, George, run.
I would like to run for governor. And the good thing is that what I don't know, I could hire the best people that do know. I'm not going to be lying like Trump. But I can make a pretty good governor. You know why? Because I do the right thing. Because
you would do, and you know what? You be thinking.
I'll be thinking, do the right thing for everybody, and it's not just blacks. I do the right thing for everybody.
Yeah,
everybody.
Absolutely.
The problem is, I could run for office, but I don't. I can't make less money than I do now.
You can't afford to take a pay cut.
I wanted to run for president, but I can't take the pay cut. But
George, have you filled out your census?
My census is for Nevada.
Beautiful hair.
My hair.
Yes, beautiful.
I tried to cut my own hair. You see, it's got.
Yeah, I see a little something. Yeah. We might have gotten you something else to do that.
I fill out everything I'm supposed to fill out, and speaking of that, how come we don't know anybody that's not registered to vote? Every time we ask anybody, are you registered?
Well, wait a minute, because that's the part of the story that we did for the census. They've changed the date for us to finally fill out and mail in or call in or email or whatever the census. You have a number of different ways. Remember, during the pandemic, they said, okay, we're going to extend it to October 31st. Now they have moved it back to September 30th. So we have a little less than 2 months to get this done. They said that this will give them time to meet the year-end deadline. And
that's BS. That's BS. That's Trump's BS. That's where he also slowed the postal workers, right? Same program.
It's the postmaster general that he appointed is a friend of Donald Trump's, and they said that he has messed up the system by delaying delivery and doing and really screwing up the system, as people know it who work in the Postal
So
Service.
therefore, they did that. So if your boat doesn't get in on time within those 3 weeks, we're going to miss a lot of boats. And sometimes we tend to do things late.
Well,
Last
that's
minute.
that's the thing. We did a story earlier in the week that most Black folks don't trust the mail, and so even with the possibility of contamination with the pandemic, with coronavirus, Black folks are saying they'd rather go stand in line and make their vote count on election day or early voting, as opposed to mailing in their ballot.
Yeah, but there's a lot of elderly people that cannot
Yeah,
go.
yeah,
We
and
need
we
to
have
take
to
care of
help
them.
them
Yeah,
too.
we got to
But you
help
know,
them.
George, in some states you're able to track your ballot, and so let's talk about
That's
that too.
why not? That should be great. If we can track a package by Amazon, we should be able
Yeah,
to track our votes.
absolutely,
And I hope we
absolutely.
can do that. And it's
So,
just
so with the census, though, let me just say this: people are able to get all of their census information in by mail, by phone, online, or if someone comes to your door to collect the information. But it will end September 30th. And this is money, $1.5 trillion a year in federal funds for programs that include those like Medicaid, Medicare, and the National School Lunch Program. And this is also very important. It is used in drawing the districts for our
district.
Congress.
And it's also for parks and public service
Yes,
utilities
yes.
all over. And we
All of
need
these
all
things
these
in your
services. Yes,
community.
your
Yes.
community. And so if you don't
Roads,
vote, yeah,
roads, and some in some cases the schools and preschools and all of this. We need to know who's in those community or in for some of us for retirement homes.
yeah,
But it's important that we have that information. And September 30th, we're going to keep reminding you how important it is. Myra J said the other day, any information you don't want the government to have, they already have it.
they
They,
already have it. They
they got
know. They know. They're listening to us right now because I called Trump an asshole. They're listening right now. I
He's
won't
got you.
curse. I won't curse anymore today.
Okay, you promise? We got a few minutes left.
Okay, I won't. I guarantee you. I
Okay,
guarantee you. I
okay.
heard Jay the other day. I think he made the whole show. I was so proud. That's the only reason I was listening. He's getting better with his curbing his cursing.
Yeah,
He's
that's
doing a
true.
great job. Yeah,
That's true.
he's still dumb, but
As we are working our way towards getting another stimulus plan in place, communities with large numbers of Black-owned businesses are located in counties that have been hardest hit by the coronavirus, and 30 counties account for 40% of the receipts from Black-owned businesses, and 2/3 have the highest number of coronavirus cases in the country. And counties with more white-owned firms have a lower share of cases. But here's the problem. A disproportionate impact on our health and our finances as we are affected by the coronavirus. And it has done to Black businesses what is done to Black folks and their health, causing many to close their doors permanently. So this is
it's,
another thing that we should talk about, George. As
especially in Los Angeles and Houston, some of the major. I think it's Harris County in Houston.
County,
Some of the major
But,
cities.
but as we are supporting our neighbors, we got to support those businesses that are still trying to keep folks employed and are doing good in our communities. We have to, give them our business.
Well, I always did that. I always loved going to supporting Black business. However, I
Did you
got a
say
Black
business?
man
Did you say supporting Black business?
business. Black business. Black
Okay, then
business.
we know
Listen,
you're real.
I
You are
got
for
an
real.
air conditioning guy right now
Uh-huh.
that been working on my air conditioning, and it's been like 3 weeks before he's getting it right. And I'm going like, you every now and then that thought goes through your head. I'm trying to give you my business, and you're sucking.
Right.
You're sucking at it. And it happened twice. I can show you my drapes up here right now. My drapes have been falling for 2 weeks. They keep saying they're coming back, and I'm going like, God, don't let me have to go somewhere else.
When you're coming, yeah.
I want to support my Black businesses because I grew up in Atlanta. Like I never, not knowing having a Black dentist, Black doctor, Black restaurant.
In Atlanta, you didn't have it?
I mean, I'm not knowing.
Oh, not knowing. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I'm
So
sorry.
when I got to Akron, Ohio for college, people were understanding like They didn't even know the Negro National Anthem, lift every voice and sing. A lot of things they didn't teach Black history in the North. How about you in Chicago? Did they teach you the national anthem, the Negro?
Well, in my house, my mother made sure that I knew that. Yeah, that we had all of the books by Black authors. That we had the Negro National Anthem, as they called it back then when I was a little girl, the Black National
Anthem. And it's beautifully written, isn't it?
Yeah, oh, it's beautiful.
You mentioned once before by Mr. James Wilton, John
Yeah,
Wilton.
and his brother in Florida. Yeah.
Jacksonville, Florida. James and John, I think their name. One wrote the lyrics, one wrote the music.
Right.
And you just can't beat it. But hey,
real poets.
Support our Black businesses.
We got to support our folks. Now, speaking of support, history is on its way to being made in the state of Missouri. Tuesday, we had primary elections in 5 states, and among them, Missouri. There was an upset in St. Louis in which a longtime congressman lost his job, and he was beat by a young woman whose name is Cori Bush. Cori is an activist with Black Lives Matter, and she is one of those people whose political awakening occurred after the murder of Michael Brown. She became involved. She is a young woman who has been going after this particular congressman and trying to bring a lot of attention to the needs of their community. And she succeeded on Tuesday. She beat.
This is the lady that was homeless at one time, right?
She was
homeless.
Yep.
And she's going to be the first Black person to
represent Missouri in the United States Congress if she wins in November, and she's expected to because it is a Democratic district.
That is so great. Not even a Black man has represented Missouri yet in Congress. That's going to be wonderful. We wish her well. Once again, we got to go out and vote again.
We have a number of congressmen Black congressmen, but this is going to be the first Black woman in the United States Congress representing the state of Missouri. So
that's what I'm saying. I'm talking about for Missouri. We have Black men from Missouri. Okay.
The man she beat was William Lacey Clay, and his father was one of the original Black congressmen in the United States Congress. So
all right, it's coming back. I got to take my my Prevagen. Where's my Prevagen? You're right about that. Mr. Clay is Black. She beat another Black man, and she looks good. And that's going to be wonderful.
Yeah, and
I think it's 122. Is it 122 Black ladies? 122. That is wonderful. Running for office.
Yeah.
And I'm going to vote in every state. It's going to be a busy day for me. November 3rd. I got to come to Georgia and vote. I got to go to Las Vegas and vote. I got to go to New York and vote. Shouldn't you be able to vote everywhere you own property?
I would love to do that. I would absolutely, because in Chicago we still vote early and often.
Chicago is bad. Chicago is bad. I would love it. Chicago, what a great city. You never talk about your city too much. It's a great city.
It is a great city, and you lived there for a while. You were doing Chicago radio.
Yeah, WGCI.
And dot that I.
And dot that I. WGCI. George Wallace and Gene Sparrow. But Chicago is a great city, and the food is awesome in Chicago. If you ever get a chance, people, go to Chicago. Enjoy a few days. Don't go in January. Because let me tell you something, there are no hot dogs in January. There's no hot nothing, no hot coffee. The coffee comes frozen.
That's true. You know, George, our city is going through some hard times now. And not only in terms of the virus and them trying to stop the spread there, but throughout the state of Illinois, but in Chicago especially. But the violence is at such a horrific level.
I didn't want to bring that up. I thought I was going to let you get away with that.
No, but I mean, it is what it is. And unfortunately, it is. And I'm hoping that the mayor and will work with the activists, like Damon Williams' son. He is young Damon, and he is so tremendous, and he is a real real positive look at the future leadership of that city. And I hope that people will follow his lead, because he's doing really great things for the community and for people who need the help.
That's good.
But I'm very, very sad.
How about Juicy? What is he doing in Chicago?
Who?
Juicy. Juicy, what's his name? Smollett. Just,
He doesn't. He does not live there
but he
anymore.
was there. He caused all the problems there.
Yeah. Well,
He owes the city of Chicago an
just
apology. I said that he owes the city of Chicago an apology. He owes Walmart an apology. Wherever they bought that rope, the noose, he owes them an apology. He owes the Clorox people an apology,
yeah.
and he owes the LBGQT
Yeah.
an apology, and LBQQTW. The W means whatever. So,
He's
do
so
you know heard about that? I told you about that. I think last week we talked about. There's a new group of people. They're transgender, but they want to be called they.
right. Uh-huh. A lot of people will identify themselves, especially on social media. You'll see that
As they.
as they. Hmm.
Who is they? I mean, that's been going around for years.
So it's not he or she, but it's they.
Okay, let me put it like that. See, that was a moment of prejudice right there. It's something I got to learn and to deal with. And something I got to learn and deal with. Also, we also know that African American is going away. Did you know about that?
No, what's coming in
We're
its
coming
place?
back to black because Black Lives Matter.
Okay.
Because now so many
I'm
people
not mad
saying,
at
well,
that. I'm not
but we
mad at
always, if you're of age, you always said black. You mostly stuck with
that.
black
Yeah, yeah.
because we definitely not born in Africa. I'm born right here in
I know.
Atlanta.
And people born in Africa will be the first to tell you.
They'll be the, what you say, they'll be the first to say, look, you're really not African. You're not born in Africa.
right, right.
So
Yeah.
yeah. So I don't mind. We keep black and live with black.
George, I want to talk to you because you were one of the first people that used to talk to me about investing in stocks and bonds. And we have a business feature every day in the What You Need to Know newsletter. And we have a young woman who is behind our business feature. And today's What You Need to Know newsletter talks about stocks holding the keys to Black ownership and investing and talking about if you had invested so much in Apple, for instance,
Apple.
$1,000 in 2009 has now had a 1,200% return, and 10 years later, $13,000.
$13,000. Yes.
Yeah. You
I
have
think.
always encouraged us, George, and I just want you to talk about that a little bit more. Encourage folks to invest and to be smart about their money. Because you're a living example of, you don't have to rush out right now and get back to work, however much you may want to be out there and in the clubs and doing what you do so brilliantly, but you have managed your money. So can you talk on that a little bit and encourage people to get involved even now?
Yeah, even now, I always encourage people to. First of all, I started in real estate. As the old people say, they don't make that anymore. So if they don't make that anymore. If you start off in real estate, and I found myself working. I never did. I always say something stupid like, I never did drugs, but I did real estate.
Hmm.
Get a little extra money. Find out ways to think about the future. Think
Hmm.
about working with your money, um, and make your money work for
Work for
you
you, right?
and work for you. We have trouble with 80% of the NFL football players being bankrupt after 4 years of being in the league.
Hmm.
You gotta. I think there should be a course taught to these young kids making all this money in sports. Just because you get
Yeah,
a $20 million contract, you first of all you're only going to get 10 of that, okay? And then
if
you
you're
go out
lucky.
and buy, if you're lucky, then you go out and you buy yourself a $15 million home, and that looks really good while you're running the ball. But when
Until
you
that
stop running
moment.
the ball and fumble, tax are crazy high on homes, and you
Hmm.
have no money coming in. You got $100,000 tax bill. Then you start. The next thing you know, you're broke. So I advise everybody when you make a little money, find ways to make you more money. Look
Hmm.
into programs, not necessarily the word I was looking for, annuities, but they're good. Real estate is really good. If you can
Hmm.
buy yourself a property, first thing you should do, I taught all you ladies to do. I wanted all you ladies, you Sybil, Mr. Pre, I wanted y'all to buy a home. That's what I wanted y'all to buy
Right.
first, because I didn't want y'all to get in any trouble later. At least you'll have a place to live. And then
Hmm.
and if you have a divorce, you don't have to worry about a man telling you where to go, and you can tell his ass where to go. So
Out
listen,
of my house.
out of your house, yeah. So I always thought about buying a place. First thing you do, the sooner you can buy a home, the better.
Mm-hmm.
I want everybody to know that. So if you got the money's coming in, times are a little different now. You don't have the money, but try to make your money work for you.
Yeah,
Real estate has been my baby. When the market is down, if you have a little money,
that's
you
the
can
time
make
to
a lot of it. That's the time to buy.
buy.
Delta Airlines, every airline was down in 2008.
Mm-hmm.
And I took a big shot and I said, you know what, I'm gonna buy a lot of this. I bought a lot and it worked. Right
Mm-hmm.
now the airlines are down. If you've got 10 years, you can do pretty good. If you
Yeah.
got 10 years, because
Yeah.
nobody's traveling right now, but in 10 years, it'll be back up. Even might be some people on the cruise ships.
And eventually, maybe. Yeah.
Not
Yeah.
me, but those will be some new kids. Make your money work for you. Don't go out and go crazy buying a lot of things you don't need.
Right.
Maybe I shouldn't use his name, but that was a boxer lost $300 million.
Oh my God.
If I was stupid and I've lost $100 million, I'm still gonna have 200 million in the bank. You know what I'm saying? But
Yeah.
he learned and he's doing well now. I think he's making money, but manage your money well. Try to always think about the future. What you're gonna do in the future, how you're gonna take care of your family. Yeah, just don't go out buying things. Is the word frivolously? Uh,
Frivolously. Yeah.
frivolous,
Mm-hmm.
frivolously. Don't do stupid stuff and
Be
outspending
smart.
yourself.
Yeah.
Be smart with your money, and it's okay. You don't have to drive the nicest car in the community. I've been driving the same car for 12 years.
But you don't drive.
That's why that's why I had it for. That's why I had it for. But I love for people. Think smart. Think about you. Think about the future. Making your money. Look at something you believe. If you buy a stock, believe in it. You know,
Mm-hmm.
I should have bought Netflix in 2008. I should have
Yeah.
bought Amazon in 2009. I was at the Flamingo at the time, and I owned the show there. So they say I was printing money at the time, but I was doing okay. But I should have bought some of those stocks. Like you mentioned, the Apple and the Amazon.
Mm-hmm.
People
Well,
go out there and look for.
you live and you learn.
Yeah, you live and you learn. But you can get yourself an advisor, but you got to believe in the product. Don't let anybody tell
Right.
you what
Yeah.
to the stock to pick.
And I
Believe
always tell my godchildren to invest in those products that you use.
that you buy. Yes.
Yeah, yeah,
And
and because you and your friends are good indications of how popular these items are.
yeah.
And so, George, I need to wrap this up, but I want to thank you as always.
You
You
ain't
are
going
always
nowhere. What you got to wrap it up? You ain't got no job. You ain't going nowhere. We can talk for another 30 minutes. Today, Thursday. Where you going? It ain't Friday. You ain't going. It's not Friday. You ain't going to get no fish sandwich. You ain't going to the dry cleaners. You ain't going to the liquor store. Where you going? Ain't
George.
no. Hey,
This is
tonight.
Friday.
It
This
ain't
is my,
no. It is your Friday.
it is my Friday.
It ain't no. Hey,
I'm going to
Sybil,
get some fish and spaghetti, and I'm on and a 40, and I'm gonna enjoy myself.
it ain't no Bible study. You can't go to Bible study. Did you say fish and spaghetti?
Yes.
Certain areas of the country, people eat stupid stuff. Nobody eat fish and spaghetti.
We used to do that. We used to have the church of fish dinners and fish fries and with some spaghetti on the side. Oh yeah.
Well, see, down south, the real country people, they eat chitlins and
Uh,
coleslaw.
yeah, yeah. My daddy loved that
Yeah,
too.
the chitlin and coleslaw, but
My
we
mother used
don't
to
eat
pay
chitlins
people
anymore.
to make chitlins for my dad.
Well, and then in New York, what do they do in New York? I don't think you're allowed to put ketchup on a hot dog in New York.
In Chicago either. If you're smart, you shouldn't. It's
You
just
should. I mean, people will jump on you for that. People will jump on you for that.
yeah.
And
You mentioned a name. I just want to give a shout out. You mentioned a young woman's name that you work with in Chicago radio, and if she's not watching or listening, somebody tell her. Jean Sparrow, still a
awesome,
wonderful
awesome.
broadcaster. Yeah, yeah. So I just want to give her a shout
He
out.
reminds me of you. And I tell you what, I don't know, our old team, we could go back and take over radio if we wanted to.
George, ain't nothing but a word.
You know what I'm saying?
Come
Go
on.
back. We get a smart guy quarterback in there like Donnie Simpson. We
Come
could
on.
take over and just go back. I'll come in and do my little one-day thing in and out, a lot of segments.
Mm-hmm.
It's waiting.
Yep.
It's ready. And
It's
now
ready.
you can do it out of your home.
That's right.
I haven't seen the comments, the chat on the side, but
Mhm.
I guarantee you at least 10 people say, Why can't everybody? Why can't y'all come back and do a show?
Right. Oh yeah, we get that every day. We
Yeah,
get it
every day
every
because
day.
you're good and you know how to deliver. Ain't no foolishness.
Yeah. Well, that's what we have you guys for.
It's straight up 5 things you need to know every day, and everybody learn something every day on your show. I appreciate you very much, and I'm getting smarter as we go. I still can't find my privilege, and oh, here it is.
Now you find it.
Listen,
Don't take it now, George. Wait till the next week.
wait till the next week. Yeah.
Yeah. I love you, George. There's absolutely nothing you can do about it. Thank you so much. Every Thursday with George Wallace here on What You Need to Know. Monday, we're back, and George's best friend and best nemesis, J. Anthony Brown, is with us. Go out there, be good to each other. Please be safe, be careful, and we will see you all soon. Wash your hands, put your mask on, and
And
be
my
careful.
new saying is black at you.
Black at you. Yes.
Black at you.
Bye, darling.